And last but not least,
but that took us to the main event, which had the whole world talking,
yes, literally.
which featured the grandson of a plumber and a man who has adrenaline in his soul, Cody Rhodes, facing up against the head of the table and the tribal chief, Roman Reigns, for the undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight Championship.
Very nice, touching moments at the start of this. I don't know whether, but Luke Harper's son was there, and I'm assuming as a guest of Cody, because Cody had his father over at AEW and he gave him his weight belt and that and the whole thing with his family and that. I actually thought Cody was going to go over when they're doing all of this stuff. So that was quite a surprise when he didn't. But another thing which surprised me a wee bit, which I suppose I didn't really think about, was, excuse me, sorry for all this coffee, but Cody's first WrestleMania main event, as opposed to Roman's seventh WrestleMania main event. Interesting, just, the dynamics. But again, Cody'd been gone for a few years, but 945 days as champion. I think they're aiming to get him to the 1,000-day mark. And there's only 4 men in WWE history to hold the belt longer, being Pedro Morales, Bob Backlund, Hogan, and Bruno. So they're putting him up there now in some pretty exalted sort of company.
Well, I reckon he might do, Hogan.
Well,
I don't think he definitely won't catch Bruno.
No one will catch it.
Right, and he definitely won't catch
Backlund?
Pedro. Backlund, I think, is probably a little bit far away from it. I think he might catch Hogan. I think Hogan, what was around 1,200?
I think I might be wrong, but I've got a figure of 1,400 in my head for some reason. But I might be wrong. I don't know why I'm thinking 1,423 seems to be sitting in my brain. But I might be way out.
Might be a bit of a stretch to, because I think that I understand Anthony was a bit disappointed when we were watching about the belt not dropping.
I was too.
Was an understatement. I was pissed right off.
Yes.
I was highly surprised and a bit disappointed.
But you'd never give the fans what they want.
No.
Now we're going to want to see the rematch as fans to see if Cody gets it. So I get why they didn't drop the belt.
Yeah,
and he's still strong enough to carry it.
But what I thought, okay, well, there'd be a rematch, build it up, go to Backlash, whatever, da. But then, did you see Raw yesterday?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Yes, I did.
So, did you, Anthony?
Yes.
So, why do the angle where Braun comes out, I'll be your tag partner, and we'll go up against Solo and Roman? They get into the ring, and Brock absolutely dismantles Cody, like to within an inch of his. That whole thing is throwing my whole thinking. So what are they going to do? And they say, well, we're never going to get Cody there, and it's now.
No. I think what you might find is you might end up against Brock at maybe a major pay-per-view. I think this will verge. I think this will come to
but what does it do to the story with Roman?
Well,
because obviously Backlash is now going to be Brock and Cody.
It wasn't a clean finish. The way I look at it is,
no,
it wasn't a clean finish. And Solo got involved a couple of times, right?
Yes.
So it might be, Cody takes out Brock, Cody takes out Solo, and there's nowhere for Roman to run because Roman will be saying, "I've beaten you." Now you put him on a spot where he has to.
So, Anthony, I don't get the whole Brock Lesnar thingy yesterday.
I don't get it at all.
Why take such a detour from something you've been building for about 8 months?
I've got 2 ideas in my head.
Yes, go on.
The first idea is that Reigns is on that limited schedule still, and he needs to still keep Cody Rhodes, building his momentum. So giving him Brock, he goes over Brock. It's an oh shit moment. The second idea I have in my head is that they're kind of doing a bit of a rewrite or a bit of a rehash with the whole Cena Rock thing where he had Cena face off against Lesnar at the pay-per-view after he lost to The Rock. So maybe they're giving Cody a John Cena WrestleMania 28 push, where he has Lesnar, he has whoever else the equivalent to that. But the only problem with that was that led to Cena losing for that entire calendar year. Now, obviously, they don't want that.
No, they won't do that with Cody.
I think Anthony's pretty close to it. It's about putting him through a murderous row of guys, and he just, he just keeps improving and improving. And now when he gets back to Reigns later again, he's now he's better than what he was last time.
Yeah,
so he almost beat Roman this time.
Fight though now, Mick.
They'll work out some jabroni.
I mean, the only thing you could possibly do is something with Gunther.
I don't know, because Gunther's a heel. I don't know.
Yeah,
you could feed him friggin' Sheamus. You could feed him McIntyre
again.
Yeah, well, you could feed him. You could feed him. I don't know, but I think he's on a limited schedule, and I don't think he's going to be wrestling every show and that kind of thing. I think there's time to build up. Rhodes and build that situation. He could end up feuding internally with his own kin.
Oh, look, I do see that. I got $2 riding on that, but I do see that. But when I watched Raw last night, because I knew we were doing the podcast, and I wanted to see. And can I just say as a side note, 2 years in a row, Raw after Mania, completely and utterly piss weak or just shit. There used to be the biggest Raw of the year as an RAW, the show, and 2 years in a row it's been nothing but an abstract failure.
We'll see. When you have something like the Raw after Mania, that's your reset.
Yeah, exactly.
That's your reset. And when you have returns, debuts, call-ups, whatever.
Yes,
when your only major return is Matt Riddle, and I know, and I apologize for what I'm about to say here, Pete, because I know you like Matt Riddle, but why?
Well, you got to bring him back at some point, I suppose.
Yes, you got to bring him back, but when you have the Raw after Mania, which is the most anticipated Raw,
absolutely, yeah,
where the crowd is hot, all that.
No disagreement, Anthony. You're 100% right.
But then
it's nothing.
But then you bring in old mate Vincenzo, right? Right, and yes, I'm gonna. You bring in old mate Vincenzo, and where you notice rewrites, free rewrites, even as the show was happening. Hell, Seth Rollins was in the ring, and he found out about his segment being cut. Literally, all that Triple H had planned went down the sink in about 3 hours.
I think it was, and then to do build up and have the whole thing. We're going to have Brock and Cody versus Solo and Roman. Everyone's going, oh my god, no one expected. Like that's the last person you expected to come out, and it didn't even end up being a match. The other two took off, and Brock just beat the living suitcases out of Cody.
Oh, I think that was still going to happen regardless. I mean,
possibly, but no. But I'm just saying, but. And it still is nowhere in my head makes any sense whatsoever, given what you're doing in the build-up. And
I'm over Brock Lesnar.
Oh, yeah.
I'm over the guy.
Yeah, cool.
Send him back up to Saskatchewan and freaking go and eat raw deer or something. Just don't come back. I mean, he never loses. He never puts anybody over. He hasn't put anyone over since he started in WWE. Can you think of anyone he's put over?
No.
Right? Even he beat the Undertaker.
You just took the words out of my mouth. Just as they even beat the bloody Undertaker. So who's he gonna put over?
Right. First time he got his ass whooped in the UFC, he ran with his tail between his legs back to fucking wrestling. Yeah. Right? I mean, fuck him off. Honestly,
Well, you know Vince is running things when that happens because
they're mates.
absolutely.
Yeah, they're tight.
Because when Vince had to leave, the story, Brock stormed out and he goes, "If he's out, I'm out." Apparently, it cost them fucking millions to get him to come back and to finish the segment.
I would have said, don't let the door hit you on the way out, mate.
Nobody, not one single person should ever hold any organisation or anything to ransom. If you want to go. You're one person.
See you later.
Might be, the kingpin or whatever, which he wasn't, but no. But anyway, if we go back to the actual match itself, what did you think of the match? I actually didn't think the match was bad. I actually quite enjoyed it.
Match was good. I'm not taking any away
No.
away from the match.
But it was a shit finish.
That's the problem.
Yes.
And even I wrote a solid 1, 2, 3, 4 points before I got to my rating. Was good match, ended predictably, Reigns over after distractions from Heyman, Sikoa, and Usos. And a question of when is enough enough?
But it does reek of Vince, doesn't it? Where Vince sort of has the whole thing, fuck him, let's go the complete opposite of what they all want.
Karma's a bitch. I'll tell you why Karma's a bitch. I was joking. I was watching this with my mum, and I was joking. Like, it would not surprise me if Vince pulls the headset off of Triple H and calls the audible of Reigns retaining.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest.
I wouldn't be surprised. And Karma bit me right back in the ass because I said that jokingly.
Yeah, it did reek of Vince, and that was a Vince finish. Triple H would not have done that.
No, I reckon Triple H would have swapped the belt.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Also,
and can I be honest with you? I would have too if I was booked.
Yeah, no, that's it. 100%. The belt. It's time for the belt to move.
Yeah. 945 days and it's been defended about 30 times.
Because what's left?
But that's exactly what I just said a few minutes ago. Okay, so they do Cody and Brock now or whatever. What does Roman do? Like who? It won't be Kevin Owens and Zayn because they've got the tag belts.
Yeah.
They were the only other, legitimate in the story sort of thing. So who now?
It's the only 3 people you think at the moment that you could probably put against him is probably Lashley.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sheamus and McIntyre.
But we've already had Drew and Sheamus.
I agree. It's not perfect at all.
So I don't know. I just think, I don't know.
It does reek of Vince, though. You are right.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed the match. I did not, because I was a bit like the crowd. I was quite flat at the end.
Yeah, same.
And I thought, my first thought was, what a real lost opportunity.
Yeah, no, you're right.
It almost killed the whole thing there.
The main event flattened the whole show.
Yeah. If they were going to do that, they should have had the bloody Gunter match last.
Yeah.
And do that and get people a chance to get over this result and finish on a high with the three-way. Not that was ever going to be the main event, but it should have been, as it turned out.
Mm.
But then again, if you'd done it like that, people would have thought, okay, something's going to happen if it's not main event. So I suppose you can't win sometimes, but
they should have swapped the belt though.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed the match. I thought it was very, very good. Gave it a 9 as a match, but I'm a bit like Anthony. Makes no sense to me at all. I think they've backed themselves into a bit of a corner now.
Mm.
I mean, what are they going to do? Put Edge now up there?
God knows. I mean, that reeks of Vince as well.
Yeah, that's it. But you start to think like that. You think, okay, well, what's the most unlikely thing to do? Okay, well, that's what he'll do.
Well, Vince loves Edge. Yeah, absolutely loves him. It's like he loved the Undertaker. It's like he loves Brock Lesnar.
Yeah,
and these people are well and truly past their prime, and they were never any good anyway. Brock Lesnar, I never thought was great.
Nah.
Athletic, yes.
Big,
freaky,
strong, athletic, bit of a freak.
Yeah, but he's just a prick of a bloke in real life. You can see it. There's no character to him. He's just a prick.
That isn't there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so
That's
all in
WrestleMania.
all, what did we think as an overall?
Not the worst, but not the best.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Middle of the road.
Yeah. It's not necessarily one, like, I still talk about WrestleMania 3 a lot. I don't think,
Yeah, that's a good
37
one.
years and 36 years I'll be talking about this one.
No, not at all. And the only ones I would have booked on the card would have been the main, Gunter and Sheamus and McIntyre. Sheamus, sorry, McIntyre. Rhea and Ray's match. So that's what, 1, 2, 3,
And the tag with Kevin
4,
Owens,
5. The main event 6. 6 total. That's all I would have booked.
So you could have done a one night WrestleMania.
Yeah, you could have done maybe
and had a bloody good card.
50-50 with Lesnar and Omos, but Omos would have had to have gone over.
Yeah.
So I didn't pick it. But
so you could have picked the 6 matches you said and made it a one night super card.
Yeah, that's right. And people would have been high, and you changed the belt on the last.
Yeah. Absolutely. And everybody goes home happy, positive, and as Anthony said a bit earlier, the next night on Raw, you basically reset and start booting up the new year.
See, Omos and Lashley, I would have had the first guy to use their finisher and win by finisher, put a $50,000 or $100,000 bounty on it, right? And why I would have wrote it like that is that every time Lesnar went for the F5, he'd slide out of it and try and get out of it because there's a $50,000 or $100,000 bounty on it if he gets it as a bonus. And whatever, I don't know what Amos's finisher is.
Isn't that where he picks you up? Yeah, picks you up and drops you.
Okay, then it would be a $50,000 or $100,000
if he can get Brock up,
and
drop him.
And that way, then it becomes an interesting key point that the win has to come from. Can't get a roll up. You can win by roll up and that. But you got to finish by your finisher to get the $50,000, $100,000 bonus, and that makes it a bit like WrestleMania with a $15,000 slam.
And that one when Andre and John started,
right,
money, and Heenan grabs the bag back, and
you wouldn't have messed with. You just leave the Gunther, Sheamus, and McIntyre one alone. That was just a great match.
Yeah.
Right, you wouldn't use Bella and Edge. You wouldn't use Asuka and Blair. You'd have them, obviously, the Reigns and Cody, but Cody to go over.
Yeah.
Flair and Ripley, obviously, that would be on the card.
Yeah.
You wouldn't touch that. Let that finish as it was. The Usos.
Yeah, you had to have that.
Yeah, you had to have that. It's debatable which way you went, though, whether you put Owens and Zayn.
Oh, no, you got to definitely put Owens and Sammy over.
All right. And then you've got the Rey, Mysterio, Dominic, which I think just leave it exactly as it is, where Ray went over. It gave the upstart a bit of a learning. And
that was all right. Yeah.
And I would have went for the main event, the opener probably of night 1. That would have been on the card as the opener for the main night, or maybe mid card or something like that. There's only 6 that I would have put on that. 6 out of what did we work out? Was it 13? 6 out of 13, 6 out of 14, right? So that's pretty shitty when you think about it. You only got 6 good matches. It's just content. That's all.
And when you consider the talent they've got at their disposal, it's a bit like that saying I say to you all the time: God gives meat to those with no teeth.
Yes,
you got this meat, but you got no bloody teeth to chew it.
Well, that's exactly what they're doing at the moment. Isn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, so that was WrestleMania 39, and of course next year in Philadelphia.
Yes, in Philadelphia, which I'm led to believe will still be a 2-night event.
Oh, I imagine they won't go back to one night now. They'll keep moving forward now. But I don't mind 2 nights if it's 2 good nights, but don't serve up the shit you gave us to this time.
Yeah,
give me 2 nights of good matches, fine, but don't give me 2 nights of nah. You know.
WrestleMania, everything should blow off at WrestleMania.
Yes.
Right? You shouldn't have matches like 4-ways for the sake of having a 4-way just to fill the card. They should all be blow-offs.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, for me, it's just a ridiculous thing. If you can't put 2 nights of good quality blow-off matches on, then don't put on 2 nights.
Just
put
have
on one really good
card,
one,
like you said,
yeah.
and be done with it.
Yeah.
Because people will talk about that for a long, long time in a positive sense. Oh, this match, oh no, this was like, you know, it's almost working there, scrambling to see which was the best match of the, you know.
WrestleMania 3, WrestleMania 1, you know, they were both great cards, you know.
Oh, WrestleMania 3.
9 was great too.
About it.
Yeah, so, when you think about it, I think, 9, was that Vegas?
Oh, now you
Caesars? 9?
When they're all dressed up as Romans and all that.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
First one with Jim Ross.
Maybe it was 9.
Yeah, because that one there, except for the Undertaker and El Giant, that was a fucking great card.
That was the Yokozuna one, wasn't it? And Bret Hart.
Yeah, the end was a little shitty with Hogan coming
out.
Yeah. But one of the best matches I think I've ever seen was Shawn Michaels versus Tatanka.
Yeah, I always reckon he was very, very undervalued. I think he was a great worker.
Tatanka was a great worker.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a fan. He still works the independent scene.
Yeah, he's great.
He's a very good worker.
Yeah, so that was a great match. Like, that really stands out after all these years. I mean, I used to like Doink the Clown. I did. I love Matt Bourne as Doink the Clown. You know, I mean, he pulled off his injured arm and hits friggin' who was it? Crush? I think it was Crush, in the head and pinned him. You know, like, it was just, but, you know, I did like Doink the Clown. I liked the gimmick of it all. But there was a lot of good matches on that card. That stood out, that card. That was a real standout card.
For
like
you,
WrestleMania,
that one,
like WrestleMania 3, WrestleMania 1.
For me, I still reckon the best match I ever saw was Savage and Steamboat.
Yeah.
That was a bloody good match.
Pretty hard to top that match.
Yeah, I must admit, it's one of my favourite matches.
And I'll tell you what, the second favourite match was the last one between Flair and Steamboat. So 2 of the best matches I ever saw was probably with Steamboat in it, which is, like, you know, amazing when you think about it.
Oh, he was a brilliant technician.
Yeah.